Now it is.
Okay. I'm Christina. I'm the center director here at the Gilmer County Head Start.
My name's Joe Woodard. I'm the curriculum director.
So we want to start by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am a student at Chattahoochee Tech. I'm in my second semester. I've always wanted to work with children,
Mm-hmm.
something I've always wanted to do. In high school, I did work-based learning where I worked with special needs kids. And I did that for 2 semesters. I work now at Captain D's. I'm a frontline worker, and
Okay. So you have only had the experience working with children based on your work-based learning?
yes, I've done a little bit here and there, like with friends' kids and stuff like that, but that's about all I've really done.
On a professional level.
Yes, ma'am.
How would you describe your teaching style?
My teaching style is more like student-led, where like I do it with them and then they do what they can by themselves.
Okay, so that sounds very similar to the same curriculum we use here, which is high scope. Um, how would you teach cultural diversity in your classroom?
I would start by introducing books with different cultures in them. And then after we did like the books during circle time, I could bring in like parents from them certain cultures and let them talk about it a little bit more.
It's a really good idea. Um, what are your views on weekly lesson plans?
I think they're a good idea because it allows teachers start planning ahead on what activities they want to do with the children and start pre-planning for them.
What do you find most challenging about caring for children?
Sometimes it's hard to understand what they need because they can't really express themselves yet. So it's hard sometimes to figure out exactly what they need.
So, going off of that, how would you teach those self regulation skills?
You could start by having a self-regulation corner with like posters and stuff and like activities to calm them down. And then you can basically teach them to self-soothe themselves with like breathing exercises and different textures that calm them down.
So, we have a curriculum here called Second Step that is all about learning how to self regulate.
Okay. Can you tell me about maybe a time that you've had an issue with a coworker, and how you dealt with it?
I work fast food. I actually had a coworker uh not really like more like bullying me over text, and I actually went straight to my manager about it. And I talked to them and they talked actually to my coworker and that didn't stop it. So I went um and then I talked to them myself and that didn't work either. So eventually I went a little bit further to corporate and they eventually put a stop to it.
Okay. Um,
Have you ever used an ongoing assessment?
I have not. I've not actually learned about them fully yet.
okay, since you don't, can you tell us a little bit about your ability on record keeping and like your technology usage?
I'm pretty good with technology. I use a lot of Google Docs, PowerPoint, um, like can't think of it, like Excel,
Hmm.
and I love making lists. That's the easiest thing for me to get stuff done. Is I make a list of everything, and when I get done, I cross it off. And then, like, if I need to go back and do anything later, I'll do that.
Um, Going back to behaviors, how would you handle a challenging behavior in the classroom?
Mm, I guess I would go back to that self-regulation corner. Because you can also find a way for them to self-soothe, and if they can't, you can try and figure out what the problem is and try and help them. Like, let's say if they're thirsty, they get upset because they don't know how to express that, you could help them with that.
Okay.
Wonderful. Can you tell me just some ways that some things that you felt are very important in the classroom to have set in, rules, regulations, whatever it is, and how you would do that?
So I would say the most things to have would be like the dramatic play area, the writing, cognitive, to help with cognitive development, language literacy, which would be like the reading corner, uh, art station to help with creativity, uh, like blocks to help with like physical skills, um, and and then social emotional would be another big one. Um, like that would be the self-regulation corner or like dramatic play.
Okay, so what kind of rules would you have in place? Like, what would be your classroom rules?
Oh, it would be like the common ones like keep your hands to yourself. Um,
Yes. So sorry, you can continue to talk with me.
like hands to yourself. Uh, like no hitting. Um,
For next school year? Yes, you would just need an
like
application.
listening, be respectful.
Sure.
Um, one that I saw that I really liked.
I will
Uh,
actually connect you to probably Miss Tara.
like
She
stay
will
on
talk
task
you
kind
through
of. Walk in a straight. Like don't wander off. Stay with your teacher.
So
All right.
she can
To piggyback on that, can you talk to me about
give me just a second.
routines in the classroom and maybe the importance of them and how you would make sure that those happen?
Tara.
Yes. So like a routine would be like
Okay,
getting to school, having like circle
Hey.
time,
so I'm going
and
to transfer
greeting,
this call back. She wants to do an
and like
application for her child for next
um
school year.
and then like breakfast, brushing teeth,
Just a second.
uh outside, uh s- choice time, like lunch and then nap, music and movement. Um,
Let me ask you this, why are routines important for kids?
they're important because it gets them like used to things and makes them more comfortable because they know what they're doing every day. And sometimes when that gets messed up, it makes them upset or feel unsafe.
So do you have any questions for us?
What kind of qualities would you be looking for these for this position?
Well, looking for someone first that's willing to come in and listen and learn and do and willing to get down on the child's level and work with them. Um, it's very important that teachers, assistants that we hire um, physically orient themselves with the children and get involved with them, get down on their level, and are not standoffish and just willing to get down on their level, really. So someone who's has an understanding of child psychology and understanding of what children need and what's important for children in a school learning environment.
Okay.
All right.
And what kind of diploma would you need?
For an assistant teacher, you would need an associate's degree. But to be a lead teacher, you would need you would have to be associates or higher in an early childhood education.
You can also be an assistant teacher with a CDA or a TCC.
Sure.
We also are able to hire you if you don't currently hold as TCC or CDA, or even your degree. If we were to hire you on, you would have at least a year and a half to 2 years to obtain that qualification while being employed here, or we would have to look at terminating you if you do not obtain those
within that time.
Yes.
I understand.
That's for an assistant. A lead teacher, you have to hold an associate's degree or higher in early childhood education, or if it is not in that field particularly, you have to have at least 15 credit hours of early childhood education courses.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in and interviewing with us.
Thanks for having me.